Welcome back to another mini tutorial. This should be under 5 minutes long. Let's talk about gradients. Okay, you're going to need a gradient for our current project, the concept logo. You'll probably need a gradient later on as well. So keep checking back at this video to learn how to do a gradient. So letter G is the hotkey. Access the gradient tool. And what I have here is a gradient editor. Let me show you that again. Up here in the options bar, look for the gradient sample. Now if you merely drop the arrow down, you'll see some of the preset gradients, and I recommend that you always make your own. Now one preset that I will have no problem using ever is the black to white gradient. So let's start with that first. Okay. With a gradient tool, all you need to do is take your cursor, click your mouse, and hold and drag in any direction. Okay, so this is the line, the path, if you will, the direction that the gradient will go. And then let go of that mouse click, and what you see here is a change from white to black and all those values of gray in between. So that's what a gradient does. It gradates. It's a slow change from one color to another. And again, in this case, we have the default black to white. Now, let me show you how to get to the gradient editor. The gradient editor, right here, this sample of color, if you click on it, you get the gradient editor. And then again, you have the presets, but we're going to make a custom gradient. And so here is the custom gradient slider. These are called color stops, of which you may slide them. You notice the sample changes ever so slightly. So here's the default. The color stops are on opposite ends. Again, you can move these, change them. That just changes the distribution of that single color and how it's going to respond to that opposite color. You can add extra color stops. Now, the color stop will be that last color that was used. So in other words, if I take this color stop and I go down to the color sample, change that color sample, let's call it blue, you can see that now the color stop is blue. Now I'm going to take out these color stops. Let's say I want to add a new color stop. So the last one I made was blue. If I add another one, looks like I chose black was that last one I had. So I'm going to change that to this purple color. So now I've got 3 color stops. The first one, blue, gradually changes to this magenta purpley color, and then gradually changes to white. Again, I can choose any one of these colors. Now, adding a color stop is easy. You just click somewhere along the spectrum here. And since I've last chosen this purpley color, then the next one will also be purple. Again, if I choose this white one and I click anywhere between the colors, another white one will show up. Okay? So this is how you change or customize your gradient. Again, you can drag those out if you want to remove them. You can add more, as I'm doing, and then you notice a little black triangle on the top of the color stop. That means that one in particular is selected. And so then you can go down to the color sample and change that one out. And click OK. So let's use these 4 colors. They look pretty good. And again, you can distribute those colors any way you want, either by moving them closer to the other one. Now, if you look, the closer they get, the less gradual that gradient becomes. In fact, if you move one on top of the other, you notice that hard line. Okay, that's because it's not gradating. It's not slowly changing or gradually changing from one color to another. Since you put it on top of each other, it's going to have that a hard edge line. Okay? So I'm going to take this sample. So you'd want to go ahead and click the OK button and then click, hold, and drag. So top down gives you that effect. Right to left or left to right gives you that effect. And diagonally will give you that effect. You also have other options. You've got the radial gradient. And you get sort of a circular effect where it starts off small and gradually gets larger. And then you have a diamond, and actually that's called angle. Then you have a reflective, where you get sort of this division, one half reflecting the other half. Almost looks like a sunset. You see a sunset like this. Okay, and then a diamond. So play around with that. Come up with something creative. Again, you've got presets, but it's a lot more interesting if you come up with your own. And never use the rainbow gradient, because you'll never get an A on a project if you do. I absolutely detest the rainbow gradient. It just basically says, I am not making a plan at all. Okay? Remember, it's kind of along those random lines where we just sort of randomly throw out things and not giving much thought to creativity. Okay, guys. I hope that helps. Come back here if you need more assistance. Thanks for watching.